Alright, Deus 2 beta version 3.08. Now, I am going to show the HF2 call on this machine. But what I'm going to show here as far as pitch 1 and pitch 2 also applies to the fast multi-frequency calls. Now remember, call size and the situation can drive different results. But as far as effects between pitch 1 and pitch 2. And now I'm going to do two tests in this video. Okay, the first is sweeping the hard way over a US half dime. Alright, I'll turn the camera off and I'm going to set up here and we are going to do another test. Okay, involving the pitch 1 and pitch 2 and iron tone and audio response. Okay. Now remember, in this version, no matter what call you choose to pair with it or whatever you use with it, the iron volume default settings have not changed. Alright? And neither has the audio response, except for go field. I believe I'm correct in saying that, okay? Now, you see that half dime there? It's in there, on the edge. The orientation it's laying is down in that crack. Now, what's the sharpshooter's take on this pitch 2? Well, I'm going to tell you something. I believe people in these old sites, they're going to find some stuff. They're going to stop on targets that they previously even maybe swept with a fast multi-frequency call running previous versions in 308, and they just might pull out a find, okay? Now that's not to say this call is going to behave the same on every situation for unmasking that a larger fast multi-frequency call will do. Alright, so there's a few questions. One question's been asked about this new pitch tone option. Okay, so we're just going to stay on the fast program. The sensitivity will remain at 95, silencer at 2. I'll just leave this frequency, multi-frequency 53 kilohertz band, reactivity 3, audio response 5. Alright, for right now. Let me turn this camera off, let this side by side get down through here so you can hear real good. Alright, camera back on. Now that old half damage still down there, okay? Pitch 1, there's no bottle cap in this machine. The factory notch is in it, no big deal. Pitch 1. Speed 3, the 53 kilohertz band. Now this is an air test, okay, but you wouldn't expect a machine to do better in the ground probably than an air test generally. 6.8 disc, okay, pitch 1. Now I'm pushing the call out. I'm coming over what should be a weaker spot, coming over the spine of that dime. Now that's pitch 1. Pitch 2. I'm pushing the call out. I'm coming over what should be the weakest part of that signal. You hear how strong that is. Back to pitch 1. In the weak zone, we call it. You hear that. Very, very weak. Back to pitch 2. You hear that. Okay. Now that was audio response 5. Now we're going to go back in here and we're going to change the tones to 2 tones. And I've done got it set up. We got the second tone dialed to max volume, highest pitch. Now remember, this is not pitch tones. This is 2 tones, audio response 5. What do we hear? I'm pushing the call out. I'm through that dead zone right in there. You hear that? Okay. Pitch 2 in the dead zone. That'll wake you up, won't it? Okay, now let's try this little experiment here between pitch 1 and pitch 2. We're going down here. We're going to turn audio response to max. Some people may be thinking, oh, well, I can just run a 7 audio response and do anything in pitch 1 that pitch 2 will. Yes, now I'm in audio response 7. I've not changed the reactivity. We're still at 3. Pitch 1 with a max audio response. That's over the weak spot, so to speak. You hear that? Pitch 2. You see that? So even with max audio response, there is a difference in pitch 2 and pitch 1. Okay? Now let me turn this camera off and set this up here. We're going to look at iron tone and audio response a little more. Alright, this will be the last clip of this video. I had to wait some time because I got too hot, boys. So the clips you're going to see here, there's a little time difference in between them. Now, what I'm going to show here applies to, again, the fast multi-frequency coils, okay? You see my zinc and penny down there? And I've got this nail over here. Now, these are not going to interact with each other, okay? But I want to show something here, okay? Because some people may be wondering. Me and Calabash Digger, you know, we talked about this yesterday. Early. We didn't know that much about this version, okay? So I'm in the fast program. I will show beach sensitive at the end of this clip. Because the beach hunters, you know, they need to be aware of this. Get out and do some experiment, their own testing. They may start using this version, even though it is still it's a beta version, but it is public, 3.08. Fast program 6.8 is the disc. 90 sensitivity, 53 kilohertz upper is the band, multi-frequency, 2.5 reactivity. Audio response 5. Pitch 1. Now this is a controlled height sweep over this zinc and penny. Pitch 1, listen. You hear that. Pitch 2. You hear how much stronger that is. Now I'm going back to pitch 1. I'm going to hold the coil up here. And I'm sweeping like so. And I'm going to transition immediately to pitch 2. You hear that. So monster difference, okay, between the two with equal audio response, okay? And we're going to go ahead, we'll do this video. Audio response now is maxed. Pitch 1. Controlled height sweep. Now with that 2x4. Pitch 1. Max audio response. Now pitch 2 with the same max audio response. You hear that. So they are not the same. You can't get with pitch 1 with max audio response necessarily with pitch 2. Okay, so now we're going to dial the audio response back down to 5. Now I'm not saying run max audio response on this machine. I'm just showing you differences and clear people's minds on what this thing could do. Okay, I'm just going to get the zinc and penny. I'm going to move it a little bit. Now we're contending with this nail here. We will come back to this zinc and penny though. Okay, so now I'm at audio response 5. Iron volume is 7. Okay? I'm in pitch 1. Now it's a controlled height sweep over that nail. Okay, now iron volume is on. Listen. You hear that. Pitch 2, same coil height sweep. So going to pitch 2 didn't change the nail's audio signature as far as loudness, volume, strength, did it? You notice that. Now, you may have seen a video I did this morning with 2 small nails. When I lowered the distance minus 6.4, that was accepting the nails, the ferrous. Therefore, the pitch 2 capitalized since they were being accepted. In this situation here, the nail is rejected with a 6.8 disc. I'm going to bring the zinc and penny back over to there so I can sweep it with some coil height here. Okay. We're going back to pitch 1. We're going to dial the disc up to reject the zinc and penny. You can hunt like this. That's going to do it for sure. Okay, so the zinc and penny is rejected. I'm in pitch 1. You hear that? Okay. Iron tone. Now I've went to pitch 2, and the penny is still rejected. With the same signal, same volume. Okay, so if it's an accepted item, the pitch 2 will make it a stronger signal, or can. Okay, you know, if you get down real close with this coil, no matter which one you use, it's probably going to be strong unless it's exceptionally small. But as the target gets smaller and or deeper, pitch 2 can have advantage. Okay? Now we're getting out of here and we'll go over here for the old salt beach. Look, I don't have a salt beach. Now we're in beach sensitive. The disc is 8. Silencer's 2, salt sensitivity is 7. We're going to turn the reactivity to 2. Okay, I'm in pitch 2. See that there? Pitch 2 on this zinc and penny. You hear that? Now I went to pitch 1. You hear that? Now I'm going to go back to pitch 2 and I'm going to elevate the coil. You see there? I've elevated that coil to make this machine sound more like it did with a lower sweep, distance-wise, using pitch 1. Again, I'll do pitch 1. This is the controlled height sweep with pitch 1. But pitch 2 doesn't sound like that, does it? Listen. But if I raise the coil about 1 inch, it sounds more like pitch 1 when I'm down here on that board. Okay? So, salt beach hunters, small earring backs, gold chains, this coil here, with this new pitch 2 option setting using the beach sensitive program, could give you some advantage. You fast multi-frequency coil users. Some of the, we'll call them smaller targets, using those coils, you may get some advantage. You may get some advantage on deeper targets. And you may get some advantage. Maybe you're sweeping a little too fast for the depth of target, but you hear enough running pitch 2 that you wouldn't hear in pitch 1, and it gets you to backtrack with that coil. Okay? I'm going to add this to the end of this video. Now, pitch 2 used, as far as the modulation, discerning between shallower and deeper targets, it don't happen like it does in pitch 1, okay? But there's targets you may hear easier, or maybe even at all, using pitch 2 versus pitch 1. Therefore, now remember, pitch, you don't have any tone breaks. It's not multitone. You have to use notch or disc. So you may be looking for high conductors. You may decide to run notch. You could leave a nickel window open. Might be a good idea for you to have an adjacent program with pitch 1 with a low or lower audio response setting. Generally, on older, looking for older silver coins, copper, generally they're deeper than recently lost clad. So you come on a signal that's reading, we'll just say 90 or 85 or whatever, running pitch 2, you can always transition to adjacent program with a WS6 or the remote with a pitch 1 with a lower audio response. Well, wonder if you didn't hear anything or you heard a very shallow tone, weak tone. That might be your cue, huh? You're on to something deeper versus shallower. That's going to conclude the video.